Hello there. Today I've come to talk to you about Scott Snyder's Batman Volume 1 of the New 52, The Court of Owls. This book, though, this is fair analysis. Two, one. My mic just broke. Yay. We're gonna fix it in a second, don't worry. That's why it's hanging out here. Sorry guys, that's really loud on you. I'm a dick, what can I say? Anyway, let's talk about The Court of Owls by Scott Snyder. Oh my god. This book. Nerdgasm. Every time I think about this book, I have a nerdgasm. Seriously. So, as always, this is spoilers. I just clapped. I'm sorry. Anyway. So, Scott Snyder's Court of Owls. I'm trying to find a good place for this. Anyway, Scott Snyder's Court of Owls. Okay, so yeah, there is just so much to be said about this that it's great. Okay, so we start off and sorry. Oh, you cut that out and then do another one. So we start off and we have Batman going after the criminal. We don't know who, but they release all the Arkham inmates. And when he does this, Batman has to fight them all. Who does he go to? The Joker. The Joker gets out of his cell and helps Batman fight off all these villains. And it is just epic to watch. It's amazing. And you're just there like, yes. It's great. It really is. It's just freaking, it's so amazing. And then later on, it turns out, like, you see it and Joker is in the Batcave and you're like, why is he there? And then it's like this digital face mask that comes off and it's actually Dick Grayson. And you know the way Joker disappeared? Well, he posed as the Joker, got himself arrested, taken back into custody just for this whole thing. Or this takes place beforehand. I have no idea. It doesn't really, it's not that clear on it, but it's so good. I think it might actually be before this whole fiasco with the Joker and cutting his own face off, but that's a different video or a different time. Anyway, but yeah, even the first issue you can read on its own and be like, this is freaking awesome. So all we know is that there's this guy who got murdered and he's got all these knives in him, like throwing knives, proper like posh ones. And they've got like the crest of an owl on them. And it's just like, and they're like, could it be the Court of Owls? You know, the legend, the myth. And then he's like, there's no such thing as the Court of Owls. And you're just like, it probably is. And it doesn't even matter that it's that obvious. It's really, it's so good. I'm sorry, I keep saying it. But anyway, so kind of move on from this. Turns out he was a trainer for this. The victim was like a great martial artist and he could kill and everything. And they find Dick Grayson's DNA underneath his fingernails. And it ends there. Next issue, we find out that Dick Grayson knows him because he went up to him in a crowd of like media and like tried to grab his attention, like grabbed his hand, like scraped it, and that's how his DNA is underneath his nails. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's so the second issue is just kind of like there's no such thing as the Court of Owls, you know, once again, and you're going through these phases, and Bruce Wayne is attacked by the Talon, who is the Court of Owls assassin, and he somehow gets into Wayne Tower without anybody noticing him, and he comes out and he throws a knife at the guy who is running for mayor because Bruce is meeting with him, and you know he gets stabbed, he goes to the ground, and then he throws two throwing knives at Bruce, and he gets him they both get him in the artery, in two arteries, and then Bruce and him like are fighting, and he throws Bruce out the window, and like Bruce brings Talon with him, and they're going down, and then you just see that Bruce is talking about another gargoyle, and it's a secret gargoyle. Well, secret, like you can see it, but they don't really talk about it during the Wayne Tower tour. And he lands on this, and Talon goes plummeting to his death. And then the ambulance takes him away. And then he wakes up. He wakes up. I want to be clear. He hit the ground from Wayne Tower. Like, dead. Hit a car and all. He's dead. He gets up in the ambulance and slaughters both paramedics. Oh my God! Like, Jesus! So then we move on. Next issue. And Batman's researching the Court of Owls again. And he plays off the superstition in Western countries that the number 13 is bad luck. You see, typically in old skyscrapers and, buildings that can reach a 13th floor, they skip to a 14th floor. But there is a 13th floor because it's supposed to house the bad luck, but you're not able to get into it. And Bruce is like, okay, I think I know where they are, because they seem to have the characteristics of an owl. That's their whole thing seems to be based off that. So he cuts into the 13th floor, goes down into it, and he sees Court of Owl stuff everywhere. And this is one of those things where I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then last night I was thinking about it, and I'm like, that's kind of creepy to think that somebody could be in your home, an assassin, and you did not know about it. And he could kill you at any time. At any board meeting, Bruce died because of him. Like, that's just terrifying to think about. And so Bruce like, okay, Alfred, I need you to give me all of the Alan Wayne Foundation for Architecture. I can't remember the actual name, but anyway, Alan Wayne made a thing for architects, charity, and he's like, I need you to give me all of those. I need you to give me every building built in the last 100, 200 years. And he does this. He goes to every single one that has, is tall enough. And he finds Court of Owls in every one of them. And another thing I didn't mention, the Talon, when he attacked Bruce Wayne, said, oh, I love killing, he said, oh, I love killing Waynes. So he's obviously done this before. Turns out Talon has killed Alan Wayne, which is insane. But anyway, so Bruce goes to the most current one, which was built near and around 2006 or that, and goes into the 13th floor, and he sees Talon. They have a picture of Talon with the Court of Owls, and it says the Court of Owls 2006 and then a date. Next thing, blows up. And then Batman is taken to this underground maze where the Court of Owl operates. And then we see it's been 8 days since Batman has disappeared. And Commissioner Gordon is leaving the bat signal on just to let all the Bat family know that the GCPD are there for them in their time of like sorrow, like they're not sure if he's alive. And then it blows up on them. It just goes out, bursts and everything. And you see Damien, and for the first time you really see him as a child, and he's given out, and he's like, get another, now. And then he's like, please. you really see that he is now a kid, and that he needs this. He needs to believe that his father is still alive. Then we go to the maze. It's been 8 days. He looks like crap. Batman looks absolutely tortured. And he's saying it like he's gone through this thing for 8 days. They put him through this constant cycle. Take a picture of him. They're calling him a victim. They're doing all these things to him. And you're just like, how the hell is he okay? He's hasn't drank in 8 days, and then he just finally gives in. He's like, fine, I'm drinking the water. I need to drink this water. And he drinks it. And Talon is going after him. He tortures Batman. Absolutely tortures him. And you can see where Batman is trying to survive. And we see a load of hallucinations. And you can see that he really is. This is a real like a foe for him. And you just sit there and you're reading this and you're like, oh my god, he could actually die. Like, he's not far off it. And then we see Talon stab him, and then it's like, oh crap. And Talon, like, he holds him up in front of the whole court of owls, like all triumphant, and he's like, what do you want me to do with the Batman? And then they're saying stuff like tear his face and stuff like, I can't remember what they say. And he goes to do it, and then Batman's just like, no. He sees a picture of Alan Wayne, and he sees like Alan Wayne is terrified. You can see like the tears in Alan's eyes, and then he's just like, no, fuck this. And he gets up and he knocks like all of them off him. But in his mind, he's like this giant monster, and they're just these like little kind of like, they're like Smeagol. They're kind of like Smeagol with like owl masks on, and that's what they look like in his mind. He just like knocks them out of the way, and then he's just like, oh, he has his strength back, and he goes after Talon. He's just beating on Talon, and there's this marble sculpture of Gotham, and he's like, you see this city? This is my fucking city, and he's beating the shit out of Talon, and he's like, do you know what the difference between you and me is? You're worthless. And he just keeps bashing him and bashing him. Earlier on in the issue, Batman breaks a camera, and it's an old film camera, and he breaks it, and he's like, and then he like reveals to the Court of Owls why he did it, and he's like, because it has such and so in it, and when it's struck, it will blow up. And then he's like, and I noticed that your giant owl statue isn't made from marble that's used for building. So he strikes it, place blows up, goes into the water, and then he's like, finally, I'm fucking free. Swims off, and then he puts his hands up, and it's ice. And he's just like, no. And then issue ends. Next issue, he's resuscitated, and he gets out. He crawls into the sewers. He gets to the Batcave, and then Alfred holds a gun to him, and he's like, "Who are you?" And then it's like, "It's me, Alfred." And then Alfred takes him into the Batcave, and Alfred has Talon's dead body, because the Court of Owls were like, "Well, he defeated this Talon, so this Talon is worthless." They didn't revive him or anything. So they have him there, and when Bruce walks in, he's like, no! Like, he's freaking out, trying to get away. And then he's like, no, he's dead, it's okay, Bruce. And he's like, put him on the table. And it's like, oh, you're a gruesome fucker. But then it is revealed, and this is at the end, he reveals that he's kept alive. The only way Talon is kept alive is because of a filling they give the chosen few who are to become the Talon. And this filling is made of a certain metal. Well, it's an alloy. It's a mixture of two metals. And it drips, like, it'll melt, and the body will absorb it. And then if a current is passed through the body, then they will be revived. So then it's later revealed, and Dick is there, and he's like, "Hey, I heard about this. How are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know. Alfred wanted to leave you alone." Bruce tells him this about the filling and everything, and then he's just kind of like, "Okay, whatever." And then he's like, "There's something you're not telling me." And then he's like, "Talon is your great grandfather." And then he's like, I'm not going to be like this. And he's getting all upset over nothing really. Batman hasn't accused him of anything. And Dick is just getting upset. And he's like, I'm not like Talon. And he's like, Dick, you were supposed to be this generation's Talon. You were chosen. Haley Circus presented you to the Court of Owls. They wanted you as the Talon. But once your parents died and I took you in, they couldn't have you. And then, Dick is all upset, and he's like, I wouldn't be like this. And then Batman backhands him with his fist, and he's just kind of shuts up and he calms down. And then it's just like, look, I've just told you everything. And also, another thing, Bruce digs up his great great grandfather Alan Wayne, and he's like, from his bones we can see that he was actually stabbed with the same throwing knives. I think it was about 80 of them he was stabbed by. I can't remember. And then we end off with the Court of Owls going like, go Talons, and like take back our city. And all these like hundreds of Talons just jump off this building and go into Gotham. And that is where it ends. And the continuation of the story is Night of the Owls. Now this was just such a great book. Scott Snyder did an amazing job. Greg Capullo's, his art just works so well, and it complements the writing, and it's brilliant. That's why I say Batman, The Court of Owls is a must-read for any comic book fan. Batman is always within the top 3 best-selling comics each month, and you can see why. This is an amazing wow. This is an amazing comic. I'm sorry, guys. But yes, this is a must-read, and I will say that this is Bat-tastic. See you guys next time. Bear!